Wait, what? What'd you say about somebody being cooked? Nobody's cooked here. I mean, this guy at least had the balls to like offer like some alternative claims, like some alternative answers. Like that's what I was all I was looking for from the other guy was like, okay, if you don't think it's gravity that's causing things to fall, like what is your model of reality? And he
Well,
just kept saying, oh,
again,
well, what do you think is going to happen? At least this guy is like has the balls to be able to be like, well, I think density is a factor. I think there's this. Ultimately, we don't know what the source of gravity is. If gravity is a real thing, at least he engaged with the question. The
I
other
don't
guy
know.
just kept
Look, I
waffling
wouldn't
and
say
being like a
I'm
baby.
not. I said that gravity is the effect that we're seeing, yeah, and everyone always
Yeah,
explains it
exactly.
this
That's
way. We
yeah.
say, what is gravity? Oh, things go down. Okay, but what is it really? Well, things go down. This is the answer we get. Or it goes back to mass attracting mass, which hasn't been
Two
proven, it's
answers
been
these days. You
superseded,
usually get the
that have
mass
been
attracting mass, or you get the warping of space time.
correct, and neither can be proven scientifically. And the mass attracting mass was superseded 110 years ago by Einstein, and they don't complement each other. They're actually in direct opposition to each other. So really, you're asking for causation, and that's something that you guys can't provide yourself. And I don't see
I'm
the
not
point of
asking
the
for
argument
causation.
because,
I'm asking for. I was just
well,
asking
you
for
are.
him to make. No, no, no.
If
I
you're
was
asking
just
why things are
asking that
staying
guy
at
for an
rest,
alter. I was asking him for
well,
what his explanation was, his personal explanation. I was not asking him for a
that's right.
published paper. I was not asking him
No, no,
to,
I didn't say that. I said you're
yeah.
still but you're still asking for his belief on causation. Yeah. Now,
He
whatever
could
he
say I don't
proposes,
know. He could say I don't know why
well,
things act this way,
what?
but he wouldn't say that. He just kept saying,
Well, look,
"No, you think this."
everybody discusses this topic in a different way. I feel like the whole gravity argument is a complete waste of time because we would only then be debating our own ideas or beliefs, not something that can be proven or shown to be factual. And what prevents there being this same type of force or whatever it is that we're seeing occurring over a flat surface rather than on a globe? It doesn't prove the shape of what's under our feet. Now, if you're here on Speculation Sunday and you wanted to speculate on what these causes may be, then that's a different story. Yeah, we'll speculate and we'll have a discussion and a conversation. But I don't see the point in debating ideas like this. Yeah, it's our own individual ideas.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's all I wanted to hear from that guy because he just was saying like, "Hey, no, this is not how reality functions." I'm saying this is what we observe, and he was basically trying to be like, "Hey, what you observe is incorrect." So yeah,
No, I
I
don't think
mean,
he was trying to say
we
that.
don't
I
have to stay
understood.
on this topic though.
I understood that. I understood the line that he was going down. Maybe you didn't quite understand it. I did, but that's fine. That's no worries. Everybody's going to discuss this topic differently. They're going to have different ideas, etc. Um,
I
yeah.
mean, I totally understood what he was going on. It wasn't like an
No, you didn't.
advanced
That's
line of
exactly what it
thinking.
was.
He was just trying to say that, like, hey, you have some presupposition or some presupposed knowledge that things are supposed to behave in a certain way where there's no downward force on them or something like that. And that he was trying to presuppose that I have that belief when that wasn't the case. I was just asking him to elaborate on why what we observe, like, if I observe a phenomenon in nature and somebody's telling me, like, hey, this phenomenon, like, the reason it's happening is not for any of the reasons that science says. It's for a totally different set of reasons. And I say, okay, well then can you explain that? And he says, well, what else would happen? That's not an answer. So like, no, he was not talking advanced. He was not going down some high level or high order of like explanation or thinking. He just wanted to like kind of try to put me into a box that I didn't even occupy and be like, hey, this is why what you think is wrong. And it's like, no, I'm asking you what you think. So maybe you can explain. At least this guy that was just talking, at least he, elaborated and he went into some of, his alternative, theories or things that might explain why what we observe in nature occurs. He talked about density, at least he brought up something.
Yeah, but you remember how did you start your conversation? If I drop the pen, why it's going down?
Yeah, if I drop a pen, why would it fall down? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're dropping it down. That's what he was trying to explain. You're putting a force to pick up that pen, bring it up, and then when you're dropping it, it will go back where it came from.
Okay, but why do I need to put force on it to bring it up off the ground?
Oh my
What am I
God.
acting against?
That's what you are doing it when you're picking it up. You're applying force on that pen.
But my question is like, if I go to lift something, what am I acting against? The object
Because
is at rest. What am I acting against that's giving that object weight?
Well, again, according to the globe, that would have to be the bending and warping of space-time. Again, we're just discussing beliefs here, not something that can be proven. We know that the
Yeah,
pen
so
has weight. We know the pen has weight. We know we've got to use energy to pick that pen up. We're adding energy to the object, and we know that all objects seek equilibrium. So when you remove that energy, it's going to fall back to where it was. Now, this isn't all objects, but this is just a very simple explanation, yeah? But
and it
again,
might fall
the
even
actual
further from
causation.
where it was though.
Correct. It may, because it's seeking equilibrium, and that would be when it lands on a solid surface, yeah? But at the end of the day, that's something that you can go and research for yourself. Object seeking equilibrium. This is nothing new. This is nothing that's incorrect. It's just a fact, yeah? Same as buoyancy and density. Other than the
I'm
things that
not
we
here
can test, we don't know
to
why these things are doing these things, yeah? Like I said,
well, I'm
just
not
like the
here
globe does
to
it. It's
take
a best
the
guess.
topic of the room and move it to gravity. If you guys don't discuss gravity, then we don't have to discuss it. That's
But
fine.
I'm just saying there's no point. What does gravity prove about the shape of the Earth, yeah? When the causation can't be shown to begin with.
Well, I mean, gravity
Are
is
you
pretty
actually asking,
essential
like, if
to
gravity
the.
was
It's
true,
pretty
that would
essential to
prove
the
the Earth has
globe
to be
model.
round?
Gravity is like the whole crux of the globe model.
But you cannot
The
prove
whole
it,
crux.
and you cannot prove it. That's why your
We can
globe
measure an
model.
effect. Sorry, whoever's speaking.
I was just saying that's why his globe model it fails, because he cannot prove the gravity.
Okay.
Correct. And we also can't measure the drop over distance required on the surface of the Earth to show that it's to show that it's a globe in the first instance. So you would obviously believe that we live on a globe from the conversation we've had.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be inclined to believe it. Seems to make sense to me.
So what makes you believe that? Is there any sort of empirical evidence that you have? Is there anything that you've tested? Is there anything that you see for yourself that would actually give you that idea? Or is it just that this is what we've been told and there's explanations that have been given to us in regards to how things work around us, and that's good enough for you as the explanations seem to work?
Probably a mix of both.
Okay, so what have you seen or done or yourself that would give you that idea in regards to living on a globe?
I've seen a lot of I've seen the moon, you know, I've seen the sun from different places on Earth. I've seen it behave differently. I've seen different constellations in different hemispheres. I've seen I've seen the moon go through phases, eclipses. I've seen rocket launches, and I'm
Right.
inclined
So,
to, you know, believe
so
so, you know, at least some of the things that I see regarding that stuff. Maybe not all of it, but
okay,
some of it, I believe.
so all right, so everything that you said you've sort of seen that confirms you're living on this ball are all in
It
the
doesn't
sky, yeah.
confirm it. It just is. It's
No,
just
no, I'm
compelling
just
evidence.
that's cool. Yeah, okay, it's evidence. So that's what I'm saying. The evidence that you've seen for yourself is all in the sky. Yeah, you're saying that you've seen the way that the sun passes overhead, or the sun, whatever the sun does. You've seen the moon. You didn't give any specifics on the moon apart from that. You know, you've seen it. You've seen
These eclipses,
stars.
yeah.
You know, eclipses, these types of things. How do any of these things actually show the shape of the Earth?
Um, what do you mean? Like, which
Well, I
example
mean,
do
I
you
look
want
at
me
this.
to elaborate on?
Oh, anyone that you like. I mean, I'm looking at the sun right now. Looking at the sun right now, or even any time during the day, doesn't give me, from my vantage point, any indication of what the ground may be doing. The same as the moon and the stars, yeah? I mean, again, we're told stories or we're given models, supposed models, with an explanation on how these things would work on a globe. So, I mean, I understand that that's what you sort of go to, you know, the sun's doing whatever it's doing. But in reality, I'm asking you, when you see these things, what do you see when you look at the sun, the moon, the stars that would give you that evidence that the ground is curving under our feet? Because I don't see it.
Okay, like if you're in like a country in the northern hemisphere, like the sun rises in the east and it moves across like the southern portion of the sky. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. I mean, it rises in the east still, but it moves across the northern sky. So there's a flip in the apparent direction. That wouldn't
Well,
be something that you would observe on a
I'm
flat
actually in the
surface.
north. I'm actually in the north, and the sun does take a northerly path. In the north, rises towards the east, sets towards the west, and takes a northerly path. Yeah, but that still doesn't show me that the ground is curving. Yeah, and you're saying that in two different locations in the north and south, there's the appearance. Yeah, that they may be. They're not
In
traveling
different
in
areas
different
of the
directions.
sky.
Well, they're not traveling in different directions because we know they're traveling east to west. Yeah,
Right, east to
so it's
west.
just
It's
that.
just in different areas of the
That's
sky.
right. Okay, so that is all. That to me, that's all viewer dependent. Yeah, and it depends on the direction that you're facing.
Of course,
Now,
yeah.
and there's no reason why we also couldn't have 2 points of rotation over a flat surface. There's nothing that prevents that. So what I'm my point to all of this, yeah, for you, is that all these things in the sky we've been given explanations about, but these explanations are just explanations. They haven't been proven, yeah. What we need to see is actual curvature of the surface of the Earth. Now, we know that every day we view the Earth as flat and stationary. That's how we operate in daily life. We build upon it that way. We utilize it that way. We measure it that way. We navigate it that way. Yeah, so if the Earth was to be measured, which it is, as flat, how then does the sun, moon, or stars or anything that we're seeing in the sky with explanations negate direct measurements? Wouldn't that be the most important?
It doesn't.
Whether
It
we could
doesn't
actually
negate
measure
it.
that?
No, it doesn't
Wouldn't
negate
that
it.
be the most important? Is to actually measure the curvature on the surface of the Earth that we're supposed to be living on, rather than looking into the sky and relying on explanations.
I think they have measured the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, and when it's measured, it's always measured as flat. Yeah, they measure elevation angles to celestial bodies. So, for example, latitude is derived from elevation angles to Polaris. Right now, for an elevation angle, we're using the surface of the Earth as the horizontal reference plane to obtain that angle. Now, this is the same in surveying. They use horizontal and linear angles when they survey the Earth. So, yes, we do directly measure the Earth as flat.
I mean, in sections, yeah.
Well, that line is just transferred, yeah? So we've got two types of surveying. We have plane surveying and geodetic surveying. Now, plane surveying doesn't utilize any Earth curvature at all. And this is over, sorry, I don't have the citation in front of me. I'm watching dishes. About 250 kilometres square, where there's quite a bit of missing curvature. I can cite that for you in about 5 minutes, yeah?
That's all right.
Then we then use geodetic surveying, again, where what they do is they measure the horizontal and linear angles. Then what they do is they create a plane triangle with these angles. So 3 straight sides. They then try to fit these triangles on a presupposed globe model, so which is a WGS 86 model, right? Not something that's measured in reality.
Surveying. I'm pretty
Yeah,
familiar
it's
with how
just
that works.
right. So what happens then after that initial measurement is there's a calculation made for the globe. So the globe isn't actually measured. It's the angles that are measured in the first instance, and then a calculation is made. So again, the initial measurements are all flat. If not, we wouldn't be deriving angles from that surface, yeah?
No, I mean, it depends on what your burden of like proof is, because like you're talking about direct measurements. I mean, if we're measuring the Earth in sections, depending on how big the Earth is and how slight that
Well,
curve might be, maybe we're just not measuring it in big enough sections.
well, we actually do, and we measure it out further than those distances. And if you did know about surveying, you would probably understand that. Do you know what the claimed radius of the Earth is?
No, not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so
I know,
that's
I know
39.
surveyors.
39.
Surveyors work in small sections. They don't work like in huge areas.
Yes,
They
but then they
do
have to.
calculations based on many measurements combined, many separate
Yes.
measurements.
Now, depending on the job that they're doing, yeah. If they're working on a big site, maybe it's a road, it's a bridge, it's etc. What they're going to do is they're going to transfer that level line, and they're going to continue to measure angles. So, like I said, most surveying is planar surveying. It is done over smaller distances, and there is no curvature taken into account. But over the area that they do planar surveying, there would be many, many meters. I think it's about 21 meters of missing curvature. Now, this is things that you can go and test and do yourself every day in reality for yourself. If you've got a laser pointer, you've got a good pair of binoculars, a good camera, you can go and make long distance observations. We're given the radius of the globe. Yeah, so we know the calculations for this drop over distance. We know where the geometric horizon should be that begins to block things in the distance, such as buildings, boats, etc. So that's 39.59 miles. That means with an observer height of 6 feet, you should be seeing no more than 3 miles or 5 kilometres to that geometric horizon. Now, we've got laser tests that go out many, many, many kilometres beyond that 3 miles, where there's 100 metres of missing curvature. Again, I can cite all these for you. I've actually done this myself, yeah, across a 10-kilometre span of water, where the shoreline is visible on the opposite side, and there's 7 metres of missing curvature. So I should be only seeing 7 metres or taller, where I can see the shoreline on a good day.
Okay.
So when you say it depends on the size of the Earth, how big it is, we know what they tell us it is. And
Yeah, but you
everything
don't
that we
trust
do
them. So what if the
debunks
Earth
that.
is just way
No, no,
bigger?
but everything we do debunks what they claim it to be. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the Earth is way bigger.
Well, if the Earth was way bigger, all of the things they claim to do would not work because everything is based off that radius value. So the rockets that you were talking about going into space no longer work. The satellites that you were talking about that are orbiting the Earth no longer orbit the Earth. Everything is based off that radius calculation.
Okay, so then is the radius calculation accurate?
Well, no, because in reality, we don't measure any curvature.
Okay, so then the Earth could be much bigger.
Well, no, because we're still not measuring any curvature. And
Well, what
I'm
if
going
it's
to give
just
you some
way, way,
laser
way,
tests.
way, way bigger and the curvature is more slight than 8 inches per whatever you said? Maybe it's even less. Maybe it's even more negligible. Maybe the Earth is way, way bigger.
Well,
And the curve
again,
is much slighter.
then that would debunk their claims anyway, because everything that they do is based off that radius value. So what
Yeah, but
we've done is
you
debunk
already
that
said that
radius
that's
value.
false. You already said that that's false.
That's right,
So, I
because
mean,
the Earth measures to be flat. So yes, it does falsify that radius.
well, it
And
measures to be flat
long distance observations.
over certain distances. Over certain distances, if those distances become null and void because maybe the Earth is way larger than they say it is, and maybe the curvature is much slighter than they say it is. Maybe they just got those measurements wrong, or they're lying about them, or something. The Earth could still be curved. You would just not be able to tell.
And you wouldn't have your rockets, your satellites, or anything else that they claim, because
Well, you
everything
claim
that
all
is
those
done
things that are like
is
don't
based
exist
off the
anyways.
radius. No, I never made any claims to rockets or
Well, I mean, you're
to
like
satellites.
alluding to the idea that all those things are like fraudulent or like lied
No,
about.
no, I'm not alluding to the idea. What I'm saying is nobody again denies that we see lights and things float above us in the sky. Yeah, there's no. This would just be denying reality. What I'm saying is that we are told that all of these things are based off that radius value, right? So
Okay, but you
none
don't
of these
believe that.
things,
You
according
don't
to the
trust that.
globe, none of these things, according to the globe, would actually work. Yeah, it's not that I don't trust it. It's the fact that it's been proven wrong.
Okay, so you shouldn't trust something that's been proven wrong. So you don't trust it. Hasn't been proven. It's been proven wrong. So yeah, the Earth could just be way bigger.
Nope, your latitudes are all toast if you do that. So is your cosmic distance ladder, the distance to everything in the cosmos, the whole heliocentric so-called model, all that shit just
Well, maybe they
collapses.
lied about all that stuff. Maybe all that stuff
Okay,
is
well
wrong.
that's really, really reaching.
Well, maybe they just lied about the Earth being a ball at all. Maybe instead of you trying to cope with the idea that the Earth is somehow a bigger ball, maybe the Earth is, as it measures to be, a flat plane.
It's basically like you're saying, okay, well, it could be that all the so-called evidence for a globe is totally null and void, but it still could be a globe.
Yeah, pretty much. That is kind of what I'm saying.
Okay, good enough concession for me. Thanks.
Is it logical to say something could still be a ball when it measures flat?
Depends on how you're measuring it.
No, not really. It's measured flat. No way could it be a ball.
You had like a balloon and you only measured like, I don't know, the smallest possible portion of it. It could measure as flat for all intents and purposes.
No, not at all. Even down to the micron, the curvature would still exist.
Yeah, but in relation to the micron scale, how much curvature would that be?
There would be curvature from one micron to the next.
Okay, so that could be negligible based on your size.
Okay, so how big is the Earth?
I don't know. Do you know?
Okay, so how would you know how much curvature to expect in the size of the Earth that you don't know what it is?
We'd have to do some measurements and experiments, I guess.
I'll tell you what, let's do. Why don't you go measure for curvature and tell us what you find?
Nah, I'm not interested.
Okay, so the Earth's flat as measured to be.
For you, maybe. Okay.
Okay, well, if you want to measure curvature, you go do that. In the meantime, it measures flat. Okay, well, the Earth's flat then.
Okay, for you, sure.
No, for you too.
No.
No, okay, well, show me what curvature measurements you have. Oh, that's right, you don't have any.
Okay.
You just kind of want to keep the ball, don't you? It's kind of like your little religious plaything where, we can't take it away from you, right? It's this thing that you just won't let go of, this idea of the ball.
I mean, yeah, you can't take anything away from me, even if you tried.
Right, so you can keep it, right? But let's just be clear, this is something that you religiously believe, right?
Not really. I mean, I don't have a Discord channel all about it.
No, it's just something that you want to believe. You don't have any evidence for it. It's just what you want, right?
No, I have evidence. You just don't like my evidence.
But your evidence is, I want it to be. It still could be. That's your evidence.
No, I brought up a bunch of things earlier.
Yeah, I heard. They're all conjecture, right? They're all
Most
inferences.
like this, most things beyond the direct things that can be directly observed, most things beyond that, there is a level of conjecture about it. It's about compiling evidence and experimental data. Some things cannot be directly observed, such as like a cell's function or other things like that that are just, or something on a massive scale. They're just not things I can directly observe. I have to
Right.
use some conjecture in what beliefs I decide to endorse about the nature of reality.
So NASA
Right, so-
never directly observed a globe?
Wait, what?
Did NASA never directly observe a globe?
NASA? Yeah, they did.
Okay, go ahead, Sesu.
So NASA observes a globe, but nobody measured one.
Is that a question?
Well, not really. I'm just making a statement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounded like a statement. I wasn't sure you like paused afterward.
So you say that NASA observes a globe, but nobody measured one.
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that NASA observes a globe?
You said two things there.
Well, you said that'd be all inference, guesswork, conjecture, that it couldn't be directly verified. So, with that being said, it must be the case that NASA never directly observed any globe. But then you went, "Oh yeah, they did."
Yeah, they did. I didn't.
Well,
They brought
how
me
do you even know
pictures, or
that?
they put videos online or things like that. They brought me secondhand evidence that I can review, and I can determine if I decide, okay, I believe this to be true, or I can say, you know what, I think that these people, concocted this picture as some kind of like lie to deceive me. It all depends. I can make that choice. I can make that distinction.
Yeah.
People bring evidence for all sorts of claims, and you have to use your own discernment to be able to determine if you want to believe it or not.
Well,
You
I don't know if
just
it's really
accept it.
evident, since it seems like it's just down to faith whether or not you want to accept it.
I wouldn't say it's down to faith. I mean, there
You
is
just
an
told me you
element
can
of
pick and
belief
choose.
needed,
So
but I wouldn't
do I
say
take
it's
this on
faith.
board? Do I take this on board or not? I'll just decide. Is what you just told us.
No. I mean, you should still use your critical thinking to observe the evidence on both sides. You shouldn't just believe it just because you feel like it.
Critical thinking did you apply to NASA photos?
Not a lot of critical thinking to that. Mostly to the other things, like how we observe the tides, how we observe the moon cycles, how we observe the sun doing different things in different parts of the world. There's the constellations, how they move, and also just how everything in the world and how it functions is kind of based on this model of the globe.
Right. But with any scrutiny, once those stories about those things are tested, you find that they're not correlating or connected at all. Like, there's places on the Earth where there are no tides. So what does that have to do with the moon?
I would need to hear more about what places you're citing. What places don't have any tides?
Well, there's actually
You said it the wrong way.
Arizona has no tide.
Just search tidal nodes for yourself, and you'll see that there's a map with many places.
Yeah, but what about all the places that do get a tide?
Hey, bro, I just want to point out, you said it the wrong way around too, bro. You said it the wrong way around. You said that about everything matching the model, like the model matches everything in reality. Or you said the model, the reality is based on the model, when the model should be centered around what happens in reality. I just thought it was unusual that you said it that way.
Maybe I misspoke there. I don't
You
know.
might have
I don't really
misspoke,
remember
yeah.
saying that.
Well, no, you didn't. I mean, that's the truth. They're just reverse engineering the model to fit what they see in reality.
Yeah, because just because someone tells you something about a model, and then you go, okay, I believe that because that's the only thing I've ever heard. Then you say, okay, it makes sense because it's the only thing you've ever heard. So you go, okay, well, all of these things happen on the globe model, even though there isn't one. So therefore, it must be a globe because they have tides and stuff. Yeah, you see what I mean?
I mean, I can see that that's what you believe. Yeah.
It's not what I believe.
I mean, you're kind of giving your opinion. You're just giving like an opinion piece. If that's what you think, you're
okay. So what other options have you been given?
About the shape of the Earth? I've been given the
No,
option
about
that you guys
those
are
things.
espousing
About those
it being
things
flat.
Oh my god! About the things that you mentioned before. You said everything works on a globe based on the globe model. What other options have you been given?
Not many. I mean, maybe you can give me one.
Not
For
many.
There are tides, or why there are
Can you
cycles or stuff.
Can you give me a second option on why there's tides?
A second option?
Yes, you said there's not many
You mean
options, so
like
that
a
means
theory?
there must be some. Yeah. So it's making my
I'm
whole
sure there's
point.
all sorts of
You've only been
superstitions
given
and folklore based around those things and why they do what they do.
No, but I specifically said to you, you've only been given one option.
No, that's not true.
And
There
how
are
things
plenty of supernatural
what's-
options that people ascribe to what they see in the world. The Egyptians used to believe that the sun and the moon were two different gods that would fight to the death every day and every dawn.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's not waffling. This is like very direct. You asked me what other alternatives have I been given. There's plenty.
So what other option have you been given that makes sense to you?
No, not many. Not many that make sense to me.
Okay, what other
probably this
option
one.
have you been given that makes sense to you?
No, probably just the globe model.
That's it, right? So
That's the
because
only one
that's
that really
been
makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so because you've been told that, okay, this is a scientific model, then this is the only one that makes sense because this is the only so-called scientific model that I've been given. Would that be right or wrong?
No, that's just you kind of projecting, I think.
Okay, what other model have you been given then?
I already told you there's a bunch of supernatural explanations for the reality.
But
They're not
Jack,
models.
No models.
this takes us back to where we were, Simple Jack, when you're talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars, and how you believe in some way that they show the Earth to be a globe. Now, other than the fact that you've been told that it works that way on the globe, there is no other evidence from you looking at it to show that we are on a globe. So Timbo's 100% correct. You've been presented with a model, not multiple. You've been shown how it works. So when you're asked for the evidence, you refer back to that model that you believe works, of the sun and the moon and the stars, of gravity, etc. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand your opinion. You made it clear. Yeah. You're allowed to think
It's not
whatever
an
you think.
opinion,
I said that
dude.
before to the other guy. You guys can have your own thoughts and opinions.
But it's not an opinion. That's not an opinion.
Well, I mean, you're not going to sit here and tell me why I think what I think. You're just going to be wrong about that. If that's
Okay,
what
why
this
do you-
room is
okay,
about,
why
then
do-
you're just like, then
okay,
it sounds
why-
like you're just trying to enforce
Okay,
your
so-
own beliefs.
Okay, why do you think the moon causes the tides?
Because of gravity, the effects of gravity.
And what made you come to that opinion?
The explanations made sense to me. They made sense that
But
more than
someone
the
told
alternatives.
you. Yes, someone told you. They told you an explanation, and you went, "Okay, that's it."
And they showed it to me. Yeah, they showed it to
Yeah,
me how
so-
it works.
so that's not
and
my-
they showed it to
that's
me
not-
how it's been tested over and
Yeah,
over.
That's a lie.
my
They
opinion.
showed
That's
that
not
they
my
could build a
opinion.
whole world of technology based upon.
Okay, so it's
based upon
not
what they
my
learned.
opinion then. You're sidestepping what I'm getting at. So it's not my opinion then.
What's not your opinion?
I just asked you where you got the information from and how you came about it, and you said someone told me. It's precisely what I said before about them giving you one option about a model. You didn't come to
It's
this
not
on your
one
own
option, though. There's
fruition.
been a
Stop
million
talking
options
over the
that have
top
been
of me.
presented.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
there's a lot
other
of
option
options
is
that have
have
been
they?
presented.
What other option have they presented about the tides?
Who is they? Who are you talking about?
You don't answer anything. You've been told
Who
something.
is they? Your
and it's-
questions are
and it's-
obtuse
and
and
it's
like
not my
in very
opinion.
generalized,
The
like on
mainstream-
purpose, I think.
Okay, the mainstream science faculty is whatever they're called, right?
So my
where
science teacher, you're asking me what did my science teacher tell me?
Okay, the mainstream science view of how you get tides.
You're asking me what the mainstream science view of how we get tides.
Oh my
Is that what
gosh,
the
dude,
question
you're
is?
being obtuse.
I'm not being
Happy to-
obtuse. This guy
Wait,
is. He asked a
wait a minute.
question, and it's the
So-
most general question I've ever heard.
He's
There's
getting
no
away.
Wait a minute.
specifics.
He's
There's
getting
no way
away
to
from
answer
that.
it.
He's just
So-
been told something, and he's trying to avoid answering, saying that.
I'm not
yes,
avoiding
I have
anything.
been told
Ask your
that.
question,
Yeah,
but ask a good question. Don't ask a
you don't
stupid
answer
one.
it though. You're
You're
just a
asking
fucking
good
moron.
questions. I'm not gonna answer a
I
stupid
didn't
question.
I didn't
so
ask
you
you
can try
what was
and
the stupid.
say you got
what was
me or something.
What was the stupid question I asked you?
Your questions are so general
question?
and so
What was the
formless. You said, "What
what was
did
the
they
stupid
teach you?" Like,
question I
first off, who is they? Like, what did they teach me? Who? My parents? Who? The Pope? Who the fuck are you talking about? This is like you need to be specific. Like,
Exactly.
you keep
Okay,
asking these
so
generalized weird questions.
Mate, I'm gonna mute you in a minute. All right. So.
Oh my god,
I'm
he's gonna
ask-
mute me in a minute. Oh no.
Okay, I'm asking. I'm just trying to have a conversation. You go into these big rants. So I said, where did you get your information from? That is who I'm referring to as
Okay,
they.
and okay, you said it's science. I asked you to specify,
But I
and then
didn't
everybody
say that.
jumped on my neck because I needed to know
said
who you're
that.
talking about.
You said that. You said someone told me. So I said they. Is that okay?
I wanted to know. All I asked was a clarifying question, but apparently that's like a big
You
no-no.
said, who are they? And if you went
Yeah,
back
the
to the
correct
sentence,
who are you speaking
you
about?
would know. You would know that I was referring to them.
I don't need
As
fucking
the
justify
people-
asking a clarifying question to you, buddy. You're not God.
Okay,
You're
simple,
not. You're
simple
not, you're
Jack,
not the
man. It's
arbiter
been
here.
clarified. Simple Jack. It's been
Yeah,
clarified.
simple shit.
You
But I want to make
yeah,
some.
hang on. You
Shut
said,
the fuck up.
yeah, you said that someone had told you and Tim was referring to them as they, as the person
Yeah, it's not that,
told you.
that fucking difficult. No wonder you're a fucking simple jack.
You should have referred to them as ham sandwich, Timbo.
Yeah, and then he might have got it.
Maybe them.
What a waffler.
As soon as you asked him from where you got your information from, where he got his information from, he spazzed out.
That guy's in high school. That guy's in high school.
Yeah, it's simply got no friends.
Oh, that's a good one, buddy.
Well, you know what? We were all told the same things, yeah? And we were all told by the same people. We were told
That's
by
a
our
real
parents.
good one.
Our-
This guy's
parents.
saying, "Oh, he's got no friends." That's a good argument, buddy.
Okay.
No, that
So
wasn't an
we've all-
argument. That was an insult. I'm insulting
Okay,
you.
then I'm gonna insult you. You sound like a retard.
Fine. Yeah, no worries, man.
Good.
You're the one that can't answer questions.
Dude, we don't have
I
to
mean,
get
your
into
questions
that.
suck, and I'm gonna keep asking clarifying questions whether you like it or not. That's just how it
Simple
works in a
Jack.
conversation.
I got a clarifying question for you. Who told you that the tides have anything to do with the moon?
There we go.
My science teachers.
Okay, and how did they show you that this is the cause of the effect?
How did they show me? They showed how it's linked to the movements of the moon and the phases of the
Yeah, how
moon.
did they do that? How did they do that?
They showed how they could predict the movements of the tide
Who's
based on
they?
the position of the moon.
And how did they do that?
Who are they?
They made we're talking about my science teacher right now. My science teachers.
Oh, okay. I was just asking a clarifying question.
That's fine, and I answered it without giving you a hard time. Interesting how that
No,
works.
how did they do that? You haven't told me how they did it.
Well, I got sidetracked here by this guy trying to make it.
No worries.
I hope you guys just aren't assuming pronouns here. How do you know he's
I don't know. So how did they do it? Simple Jack.
They demonstrated how you can predict the tides and how they're linked to the movements of the moon.
How?
They accurately predicted the tides.
Yeah.
Quickly. But what was the causal mechanism again?
What do you mean the causal mechanism?
Well, you don't just link two things. Like, I'll tell you what, if I tell you that tomorrow morning a rooster's going to crow when the sun comes up, does that mean that the rooster caused the sun to come up?
No.
Okay, so just because two things are related or maybe happening at the same time, does that mean that one is causing the other?
Not necessarily, no.
Great, so how do you know that the moon is causing the tides?
Because someone told him.
Saw it on TV.
Yeah, because that's the
Is it-
explanation. It makes sense.
Yeah, I know. You're actually answering what I was saying. It's exactly what I was saying.
I'm
You've
not
been
ignoring
given
you
an
anymore, buddy. You can relax.
I
You're
don't really
okay.
give a
Nobody's
fuck.
hurting
You
you.
can leave if
No,
you
I'm
want,
not going to
man.
hurt you. I'm just here having a conversation.
Okay.
He's afraid of you, Timbo. I mean,
Yeah,
you
no.
just
No,
basically
I'm
broken
definitely
him.
not afraid of that guy. No.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah,
a fucking bro.
That's why he
Yeah.
doesn't want to talk to me.
But yeah, you notice, like, I mean, like, for example, like in spring, when the sun and the moon are aligned, you get stronger tides.
Who told you that?
And we also
so?
found that, like,
Is that so?
found like Newton gravity from the moon does pull the Earth's oceans.
What's gravity?
Prove that.
What's gravity?
Prove that, and then
How do you prove it? Don't just make baseless claims. In fact, from this point forward, I'm going to keep you on mute for a second so you can hear this really good. I don't want a baseless assertion out of you again. I want you to show me the experiment that was conducted. Okay? So you brought up Newton. He proved something. What did he prove? What's the experiment?
who do you think you're talking to, you little bitch?
Okay, see? That's the end.
Yeah.
It's the end.
I hate it when it ends like that. No, well, it happens a lot. I'll say that. I don't always hate it, but yeah, that one wasn't really going that.
Just let your gish gallop and claim stack.
Poor guy.
When he realised that no curvature drop over distance, that's when he started coping.
I've seen worse, but that was bad. It's definitely in
the ultimate spiral, obviously, because he knows there is no experiment that's been done to show the causation between the moon and the tides. And I mean, that's the end of it there. And I suppose, yeah, what do you do at that point? But if you want to win the argument, it's resorts to insults, doesn't it?
Well, it's exactly what I said. He's been told something and he listened to that. And because it's the only thing he's been told, then it makes sense because you hear it over and over again. And when he realised that, he was very upset.
Yeah.
Anyway, always a pleasure to listen to those kind of conversations. I think it helps the people listening realize that I don't want to be that guy. You know, I don't want to be that guy.
Tend to be confused by things fall. But like you look around, just ask them, what's falling right now? Look around you, what's falling?
No.
Oh, well, everything's being yanked down on the ground.
Raining.
Where do you see that? It's not an observation. You're just making that up. And then
I'm
you ask
looking
them,
at
well,
I'm looking at clouds at the moment.
It's raining.
ooh,
It's raining.
I feel like that one breaks their brain when you say clouds, honestly.
Oh, I love
But
clouds.
that's all the
I love clouds.
But like, okay, so you ask them, all right, well, if things wouldn't be pulled down, if I just turn off the pull down factor, what would happen? Well, they would go up. I'm like, that exactly. That's your problem. You think things would or should or could be floating. And they get mad about that. They get so upset. It's like,
Well,
dude,
no, they wouldn't, because if they believe in Newtonian mechanics, then it wouldn't go anywhere unless it was acted upon by a force. If it got pushed sideways, then it'd just continue sideways. Right? It wouldn't go up.
there you go. That's a good point. Man, dude, like, it's just crazy, bro. They've only seen that floating toothpaste and water balls and people literally on YouTube. That's it. Nothing else. You've never seen that happen in this world when you go around and travel or whatever. That doesn't happen. So to think that as a baseline that should be happening is crazy. This is what all I do. They have two ideas, poor ideas. One, things should be floating. Two, something stopping that from happening. But when you point out the floating thing, they get so upset. Oh, you're talking about cartoons and Goku. No. That's you. That's you. You think that you should be floating like Goku. Well, why when I jump do I keep going? Why do I go back down? Well, if you were to jump and keep going up, that's called flying like Goku. Well, but that's cartoons. Yeah. Newsflash. Ta-da.
But you
That's
believe
the
in
point.
cartoons. Fucking
My
CB's fired up,
God.
man.
Dude,
Cooking.
like, oh my dude.
My
So
boys got some freaking T-bones going. Let's do it.
I think you need to go to the gym, man.
the gym.
You're fired up, man.
I just got off work, but I was just thinking about that conversation. I was just finishing up some work, and I only had a few minutes to cook his dumbass. But
Yeah.
reflecting
It
on
was way
that,
too confusing. Way too confusing for him.
You're right,
yeah.
AJ. Yeah,
But
that's
honestly,
way
bro,
over his head, bro. Way.
if I'm confusing to people, you're just low IQ because I'm not in here trying to be all Gregory and like, what is it? You guys know that sound clip that's like, we also have to ask ourselves, what is the hopsicle of the Flagheim of the quantum realm? You know, speaking from some crustacean zeitgeist paradoxical exfoliation. Like, you guys have heard that. You guys have heard that clip a million times, bro. I don't speak like that. So if you're not understanding what I'm saying, you're just dumb.
Well, the rotations of the
What'd you
gravity, the rotations of the gravity vector are not
Yeah, he's like,
correlating to the
have you seen
transition of
should I get the clip out?
energy, which is passing through.
Nah, I'm joking, man.
I gotta get the clip out now.
We're missing, bro.
But CB, how is he going to understand what you're saying?
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
How's he going to? Sorry, I spoke over that. How's he going to understand what you're saying when he doesn't understand what he's saying?
Oh my God. Yes, dude, that's a good point. He didn't even understand what he was saying, bro. That is crazy, dude. Yep, that's a good
No,
point.
he's just regurgitating talking points that he was taught.
Yep, that's exactly my
Probably.
point.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Maybe I should just start speaking all big word, $10 words and stuff. The glucose maximum of the equation. Dude, that's one of the best sound clips ever. Just because it highlights that nature of these guys. They come in here. I'm sure you've met people like this, where they come in and they just use like $10 words and crazy like stuff they heard from some YouTube channel or whatever. And
Cartoon.
maybe it worked on them.
They started a
But
cartoon, bro. They started
someone
a cartoon.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they saw the big words on the cartoon, but like,
What, like
I watched too many
electrostatic
episodes of
potential?
Bugs Bunny.
Go on.
what do you say, Timbo?
Electrostatic potential, like those ones.
Yeah. The glucose
Wow.
maximus.
The gluteus maximus. Oh, question. Let's ask ourselves, what is the molecular harpsichord of the Flagheim, the quantum realm? Speaking from sort of crustacean, guys, calcium efficient paradoxical exfoliation, sort of juxtaposition.
Exfoliation. Dude, like, they literally do that. Go ahead.
He's German. That guy. He's German.
Too funny, bro.
That's hilarious.
I love that clip so much.
Well,
But yeah, man.
Hey, CB, you could do it better than that, bro. I know you can.
Bro, if I do, I just start making up words. The quadrilateral of the backward literal, divisional acquisition, like, you start making shit up, bro.
Careful, man. You're going to start sounding like a retard.
You need to spit it, man. Spit it out, bro.
Dude.
Throw some bars down. Throw some bars down with that crazy shit, man. Do it.
I joke around, bro. I'm the people's champ, all right? If I put it in layman's terms, you can't understand the basics. You just need to give up, honestly. Because you're going to end up running into people like Indio, and they're going to hit you with some higher level shit. You're going to be completely roasted and out of your league. So,
All right, let's do a room check.
Room check.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
What do we got?
Neo Sack. Or
Neo
something.
Sack.
I don't know.
Welcome.
You there, Neo Sack?
What's up, Neo? Hey, did you guys see they coming out with a new?
Hang on, dude.
Hold on, dude.
You there,
Neo.
buddy?
Neo.
We hear you breathing, bro. Go ahead.
I can hear you breathing.
Hello. Go ahead.
Neo.
Neo's dad, man. He's in the Matrix. Neo's in the
Let him
Matrix.
cook.
Mate,
Let
he's
him cook.
talking.
Hello?
Dude, you got.
What you guys find?
What's going on, dude?
I have to,
What's up,
I have
dude?
to turn this guy up again as well.
Yeah, he's
What's
really
wrong
low.
with everyone's mics today?
He's low.
I don't know.
Very
Why
low.
you guys asking for me? Like, why you guys demanding for my name or asking my name?
We're
This is
just
You're sitting. Well, hey, get this right. Imagine you walked into a restaurant, sat in the corner of the restaurant, and then just demanded to be left alone. Do you think that's a bit weird?
Okay, but is this a public
Yeah.
server? I don't
Yeah.
get it.
That's weird, man. It's weird. It's
I
weird.
thought I was just in a public server, just listening to people talking about politics. That's it.
Okay. Would you like a glass of water, or would you want to buy some chips or something? Or?
That's pretty funny.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean,
Maybe a better mic.
Yeah, my boy's low, man. You know, I got studio monitors here. He's pretty low.
That's right. Are you a flat earther or a globe earther? Just curious.
me?
Yeah.
I really don't know yet. I believe it's probably just rounded, like it's very rounded.
Round.
Hold on.
Like the moon, like everything in nature is usually like circle, you know.
Nature.
Really? Like what? Like what?
Like nuts.
Nuts.
What? Wait.
That's not
So,
right.
like, they're not round like a ball. Like,
but you know what I mean? Like everything is more like a circle, everything. So that's why I think it's probably like.
No, that's not true.
Well, but then maybe I'm.
What about
Got a hot dog shaped one here.
What about a rock?
Yeah, I was thinking rocks. Tons of
No,
rocks.
I didn't say everything, but a bunch of stuff in nature comes like circle, and that's it. That's my point. That's it.
So I can maybe give you fruit and nuts. What else?
What about a banana?
Oh, like banana.
There's like some fruits and some nuts. Anything else?
Seeds, eyeballs, cells.
Eyeballs aren't eyeballs aren't spheres.
Whatever, but you know what I mean, bro.
He said whatever. I would say most things in. Let me just point this out to you, brother. Most things in nature are very irregular. They're weird. Look at like a tree, a rock, a lake, your hair, your body. They're all super irregular. I don't think most things in nature are like round. But also, if you're gonna say the moon, which I think you mentioned, could you name a resemblance between the Earth and the moon? When you go outside, you see lots of trees and water and stuff. You look at the moon. What are the resemblances? How could you compare the two?
Dude, I don't know much about those things, but I'll give you an example. For example, if you notice, nothing ever touched to anything, right? You never touch anything because.
Oh shit! Sorry, Neil. Somebody's hot micing.
What do you mean we never touch anything? What are you talking
I
about?
mean, for example, like atoms are just like magnetic electric electrons, and they repel each other, and that's what you feel. It feels like a touch, but it's actually just repelling each other, and it feels like.
Okay. I dare you to go out and jump in front of a car.
I know. Yeah, you're gonna get destroyed, but I mean, in actual particle size, you never touch anything. You know, when you go to particle level, and that's it.
Prove it.
I mean, just watch any video about it, and that's it, or make a research on. You'll see it.
Yeah, but no one's ever done any experiments showing that. That's all theoretical.
Well, it seems like it's proved, like it's how it works. That's it. Atoms, electrons, and neutrons. That's it.
Okay, when you come in and you use the word seems, you're in dangerous territory there, honey.
Okay, my apologies for that.
Be very careful with the language you use in here, because we're here to give you evidence to show you flat Earth. I mean, I have a huge equation that gives you the 3959 radius that the quote unquote scientists have used to do their globe math stuff, and it's been debunked pretty effectively.
All right. I mean, you make your research. That's cool. I'm not against it.
The irony of it is this: is that Google, of all things, who is known to suppress information, will tell you that they'll give you the globe calculations. But if you do an experiment, depending on where you're at, personally, Jen and I are from California. We grew up on Long Beach, California, in Long Beach, California. So we're like, wait a second, we can see Catalina Island. So I went ahead and I'm like, well, I asked Google, well, how far is Long Beach, California from Catalina Island? Well, it's about 29.3 miles, right? And I've put this in the chat before, and I've argued this in the Discord before. So, the question becomes, at a distance of 29.3 miles, how much curvature over the horizon is there using the 8 inches per mile squared calculation? It works out to be something like 6,866 some odd feet, and you multiply that by 12, and you get a distance. And this is literally like sitting on the beach and looking across. So this is at a distance of 0, or a height of 0, and you're getting somewhere about 570 feet. So in other words, I should not be able to see about 570 so feet of Catalina Island. Well, that's not true, because I can actually see the entire island, harbor and all. If I have my telescope out and I'm looking at the harbor, I can see the boats, the lights, all of it. And the tallest point, if you ask it what the tallest point on Catalina Island is, it's 2,057 feet. And so you take away 570 feet of that, well, that's, going by the globe math, I should only be able to see about 1,400 or 1,500 feet of the island, and that's just not the case.
Noise.
So if you actually cared, and this is just critical thinking, you know what I mean? This is just employing critical thinking skills, rather than just coming into a chat like this and just arguing and bickering back and forth and, doing stupid semantics. If you actually sit down and you ask the questions, doing some critical analytical thinking, you'll get the answer.
Yeah, I believe that if you make research deep on a topic, you'll find a lot of answers and stuff to get your point. I agree with that. I understand that. Yeah, I don't disagree. But I had never made like deep studies about flat Earth. I just have made like surface research and stuff, and that's it. And just using my own logical common sense and coming to my own conclusions. And that's it. I have never, I'm not the guy to debate. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
What's common sense about the globe? What senses do you use?
I was just going to ask that. I was going to say, yeah, I get that, but what is common sense about the globe? I think where we get that quote unquote well, hold on. I think where we get that quote unquote common sense is that we are taught scholastically. We are taught this. We are presented images, and we unfortunately we believe what our eyes see. That's folly and misnomer. It's awful that it happens. So unfortunately we cannot trust our eyes. We actually have to do the research and trust what goes into our brains. And so using the basic math calculations, I'll go ahead and I'll post it again in the chat for you, so you can take a quick look at it.
Wait, so what should we trust if not our eyes?
Sorry, say again?
What should we trust if not our eyes?
That's a very, very good question. And it's, our eyes can in fact deceive us. So when I say we have been shown images, let's put it that way. We have been shown images and we've been told that this is fact, right?
Okay, so what can we trust then?
That's a very good question. You've got to go and do the research. You've got to go do the research for yourself.
But I have to see the research with my eyes, right? But I can't trust my eyes.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. You do the calculations.
But I have to see the calculations, but I can't trust my eyes.
When you're given images, that's different than working out a problem.
But if I do calculations, I have to look at the calculations as I'm doing the calculations, but I can't trust my eyes, so I can't trust my eyes.
Okay, retard, you don't need to take it literally. She's using we can't trust our eyes.
Right.
If you let me finish, I'll explain it to you. Right?
No, because wait, I need to explain.
So you want to interrupt me then?
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to listen, okay, these are those semantics that I was talking about, people arguing. They want to jump in this Discord, and they just want to argue these crazy semantics. So, if you want to do that, that's fine, but I promise you the rest of the guys are...
That's like the Globey, kind of playbook, so I'm like,
It is the Globey playbook. They want to argue semantics, and I'm not here for that. I'm simply saying that there are mathematical calculations that can provide evidence to the contrary of the globe theory.
Yeah, but my problem is I'm not pro flat, I'm not even pro globe. Like, I'm genuinely radical skepticism. Like, I don't even know if I could even trust mathematical calculations. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. Does 2 times 2 equal 4? How can I
even trust you though? Like, how do I even know you're telling me the truth?
Wow.
You're a waste of time, man. We'll get back to
your ways. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. You're just being ridiculous.
Like, this is insane. Like, you guys are insane. Like, this.
You're insane.
You
can't even agree.
You can't even
agree that 2 times 2 is 4. And you say, how can I even trust that you can tell me that 2 times 2 is 4.
You
It's
believe
not
in the
her
globe.
math.
You
You're
believe in the
saying you
globe.
can't trust your calculations? I mean,
You
what
Wait,
kind
believe
of
in the
person?
globe. Why should I trust
one
you?
sec.
You believe,
What makes you?
Oh,
What
wow.
makes you think that we believe in
you
a
believe in
globe?
the globe. Why should I trust you?
What makes you think that?
Because you're the one who's
Say that
saying you
again.
should
Wait,
trust
wait,
the
wait.
math.
What was your question again? What you so are you coming here to
Just
find?
one sec. One sec,
Okay.
please. I just want to clear this up. So, why did you come in here thinking that we all believe in the globe?
Because you're the one spouting like, oh, trust the math, trust the science. That's literally
What a
Yeah, but can
fucking
you?
weasel.
But you
literally
can.
a bunch
But you
of
can do a
globes.
math. But you can do a mathematical equation and use it, can't you?
Yeah, but he's insinuating that the math
Yeah, nobody
tells us
said.
it's a
Wait,
globe.
guys, hold on. Give me a second.
How you
Just
see
give
it?
me the mic for a second. Give me the mic for a second. Nobody said trust the science. I said a mathematical is a mathematical equation, not science. Now,
That's science.
mathematically,
I don't care. That's science.
hold on,
That's
hold on.
science. What the fuck, man?
Good God.
Get him, Tito, bro.
Math is finite.
Literally
Math
Bolshevik science.
explains the universe. Math explains that. And so you're just coming in here to be contrary and to be argumentative, and you're not opening your mind. You're not accepting the information. So I'll let the guys deal with you. I'm going to mute my mic.
Get him, boys.
Yeah. So, I want to know why you think I believe in the globe.
Because in classic Globey style, we have just this endless selling of like, oh, trust the science, trust the science, trust the
Who
sources.
said that?
But dear sir,
Who said that?
Nobody
Who
said,
said that?
nobody said trust the science. We said the math.
Yeah, I want to know why
okay,
you
what do
think
scientists do?
Hey, dude, I want to know why you think I'm a globie. Go for it.
Isn't that what this room is for? For you guys to get on your soapbox about how?
Okay, I saw you jump in.
Who the fuck are you?
We didn't say anything about believe the science, believe the math. We didn't say any of that.
Okay, so you're telling me that the Globey playbook is not to appeal to science, to do all the heavy lifting for their like inane worldview.
Just tell us what
talking
math
about, dude?
Any?
Tell us what math proves the globe. What math proves the globe?
None.
Okay, that's the whole point I was trying to make. There's no math that proves the globe, but I can prove with a mathematical equation that we have flat.
Oh, there, John.
I have literally posted the mathematical equation in our chat several times for people like you. You're just being completely obtuse.
Wait, oh, so you're not a Globey? Wait, you're not a Globey? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my god, that's why I asked you what makes you think that. You didn't. You
What
just came
a
up with an.
Big
You just came up.
mongoloid, what?
You just came up with an assumption and you didn't ask anyone.
I mean, okay, it was a very well-founded assumption though, because like I said, I've been in
No, it
and out of
wasn't.
chats. Yes, it is. Let me explain why. Let me tell you why you are wrong.
No, you won't. See you later.
Oh,
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to block
What's
that.
happening? What's all this Wii stuff anyway? Who is this rando?
I think he's just laughing, man.
Don't nobody know who you are, bro?
Just a larper.
Globey playbook.
I think he just dropped in on a random and just decided he was going to pick our Discord to fuck around in.
Trust the
Yeah,
science.
I think he just wanted to create an argument for no reason.
Are you bored? He's still unmuted us.
Because he didn't say
All right,
anything.
hey guys, I love y'all. Hugs and kisses. I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Alrighty, nice. Have a great night.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
All right.
Misogyny.
That was enough out of her. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Or am I? All right, Ness. Now that the 304 is gone. Oh, he's been server muted. All right, well.
That was me.
Let's move on.
You can unmute him. Yeah.
I don't know if we're that bored. Should we just give him one more shot, or should we just move on?
Try. I think you're going to get a coherent conversation with him.
Well, Neo, I think Neo wants to chime in. What do you think about this, Neo? What's on your mind, dude? I saw you. We heard you breathing there for a second.
I don't know much about flat Earth stuff, to be honest. I'm just here listening and learning. That's it.
Cool.
Awesome, bro.
Do you want to ask any questions?
For now, I'm trying to chill a little bit, listening to you guys in the background, and then going to bed soon. That's it.
Cool. No worries.
Nice, bro. Hey, quick question for you. Where are you from?
You guess.
Espanol.
Shit, you're Mexican?
Not really. No.
Bad as joking, bro.
I'm going to say Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah.
Holy shit, you're Mexican?
No, not Mexican.
Fucking Mongo.
Too funny. Well, chime in if you have any questions, or maybe chat. Do you guys have any questions for him before he pops on mute?
Hey, I have a question. Is this a public channel or is it like a private channel? Or
Public,
Public.
and we are live. And we also have and the Jord said, welcome. Yes, we're live on YouTube, bro. Yeah. You can go back and listen to your conversation if you want, or make clips or whatever you need.
Nice.
Not private at
Or
all.
maybe you could go back and hear how bad your mic is.
Ooh.
Yeah, makes sense.
Definitely do that.
Please.
What's up, Jordy? We got Jord. We also have Happy Smile. So tell us about that profile picture there, bub. And congratulations on the top slot as well.
That's
Pause.
happy smile.
I'll
Happy.
be back, guys.
No, you ain't. All right, what's
Happy.
next, chat?
Globe.
Who's got a globe?
Just random
Ain't no
question for
globe.
the. Jesus.
You got a
Facts.
globe? Who's got a globe? You got a globe? Who's got a
Did
globe?
any of you flatties argue against other flat earthers when you first got started? Like when you were kind of globe-tarded? Did you argue against the flat earthers, or dude?
I mean, I've had arguments with flat
didn't.
earthers. Sure.
I asked questions.
Yeah, I don't think I had any beef with flat earthers at the start. I wasn't like, these guys are fucking dumb. Like I never did that. Never had that experience. I think it's smart to just shut your damn mouth and listen and maybe like absorb information before you go and start yapping.
I asked questions on both sides. That's what I did.
Yeah, I just sat in the back of the classroom like, all right, well, let me just take some notes here.
And I went out and paid attention to reality. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that
That's
seems
weird.
kind of smart. I think it's really dumb when people come in and they're like, "Oh, you flat earthers are dumb," blah blah blah. Well, you're only thinking that because some other YouTube channel or somebody else who gassed you up. They put a battery in your back and told you, "You got it. You got this, champ. You're better than them." They don't have any information on hand, and you can tell because they come in here and you ask them stuff, and they'll be like, "Hold on, let me Google it real fast." Like, bro, you've got it all backwards. You're supposed to Google first and then speak on it. You don't speak on things and then go and try to find out whether it's true after you said it. You're setting yourself up for failure. That's dumb. And I think that's actually one of the flat earthers' strengths is we speak on things we know. Why do you think I can yap so much? 'Cause I don't speak on things that I don't know what I'm talking about. So if you hear me speaking, I don't need.
Full on
And that's
yappuccino.
what's lasty, bro. I'll take a sandwich now. Let me get my turkey and Swiss.
Yeah, hold on a second.
How you doing tonight? You just get here, girl?
No, I've been here listening to the lack of
Bro.
synergy.
Synergy. It's a little off. I agree. It's a little off.
Maybe it's lag or something.
A dance.
The dance is not flowing. The band sucks, man. The band, that fucking Globe, they're called the Globers. They're playing tonight. They suck, man. The Globers suck.
I put your sandwich in the chat.
Thanks, Flatsy. I'm literally going to get me a sandwich. Yeah.
So I have a question, right? Could you explain to me why you guys don't believe the Earth is round?
Because it doesn't measure that way. It measures flat. There's no reason to think that it is a globe. It's a pretty wild claim to say that the Earth is a globe in a vacuum. Yeah, we checked that out, and it doesn't check out.
Could you provide me scientific reasoning as to why?
It's not a scientific question.
It is a scientific
Geometry.
question. There's scientific documentation that supports the reason why the Earth is a sphere, not flat.
Flatsy, ask her a question. Hey, 304 BBL. Is science a buzzword, or do you actually know what science means?
Science science is science. Science is proof.
Okay, so
You
it
can't
sounds like
define
you're
a
using
word
it.
with the word.
Here, hold on, BBL. It sounds like you're using it as a buzzword. It sounds
I'm
like
not using
you don't
a buzzword.
Okay, why don't you
We
tell
live
us
around
what
science, so
science
how does
means?
science operate?
Well,
First
don't
of all,
quiet
you
now.
don't define. Hold on. First of all, you don't define a word with the word. If you want to tell us what science is, we're all ears.
Wait, okay, Flatsy. So you said the Earth is in a vacuum?
Hold on, we're talking
I
to the
said it's a-
BBL.
No,
Came from the same. Yeah,
We're
they
talking
came
to
from
the
the same
304.
VC, or the same profile.
Probably voice changer. It's fine.
Yeah. So
No,
the surface orientation of the Earth has nothing to do with science. It's geometry.
Sorry. Hey, sorry, she doesn't want to learn.
Facts. Typical woman. Yep.
Yep, exactly. I don't know what's up with her today, but man, she's She's off a rocker.
Probably every day.
So
Do you know what science means? Maybe we could help her.
I do.
All right, tell us.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know.
Facts.
Okay, that was such a fruitful conversation.
It's been very, very insightful. I appreciate
Chat,
you
just
guys.
so you know, this is a buzzword earther. People just throw around words like science, gravity. They have no freaking clue what these words mean.
You know, it's a red flag when somebody defines a word with the word.
She said we live around science. I don't know if you guys caught that, dude. What the?
You do live around science. Science lives around us.
What does that even mean?
Is science in the room with you right now?
Yes. Dude, we actually have a dog named Science.
Science lives within me. When science was resurrected after 3 days, it came to live with me.
What, Science? No, my dog Science is not at your house right now, bro.
Okay. Well, chat. This is 4K happening live. Ninjas don't know what science means. It's all right though. Don't worry about it.
No, man,
Should we just teach him
we're
real
not worried
fast?
about it, man. It's fine.
We'll just teach him real fast, super quick. Science deals with cause and effect, right, Flatsy?
That's right, CB. And I like how you bonded with this guy over misogyny.
You already know, dude.
I think it's the same person.
Wait, how do you spell misogyny?
Oh, I was actually said it wrong. I was supposed to say it wrong. How do you say it, CB?
Misogyny.
Misogyny.
Misogyny. As opposed to geogony, you know, those out there that hate the earth.
Geogony.
that's a CB original right there,
You
chat.
pulled up the Google and hit the little sound button. I love that.
Anyway, on a scale of 1 to 10, BBL, where does like the Earth being a globe fall? Like 10 being for sure, definitely globe. 1, I'm not super sure. Open to other ideas. Where do you fall on that list?
It's a 10. The Earth is a fucking sphere, not a fucking flat surface. Not like
You
a fucking
sure?
flat disc. What you guys talk about?
She's a globe.
Oh, no, we never
Hold
said
on 1 second there, 304.
Yeah, you got the wrong idea. Nobody said a flat disc.
So there's actually a song that kind of goes over this. It's called Circle Theory. It's by Obel Reed on Spotify. He put it out recently. It's kind of a banger, honestly.
We do not care.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to, enlighten the fellas.
Don't go thinking that we think that the Earth is a disc in space or anything like that.
Disc in space? How do you spell that?
That's 3 words. Disc in space, outer space. Like most people think, for some reason, your BBL friend thinks. Most people think this, bro.
C-O-N is another word, and then space is the third word.
Just chill out for a second. A lot of people think when they get they say the word flat Earth and they think of a solar system with a bunch of round planets and then a flattened planet. That's the wrong idea. No one actually thinks that except for your BBL friend and a bunch of other weirdos. That's not our position, actually. But
BBL friend.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I wish you had a BBL.
Misogyny.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'll just call you 304. But no, it's not a disc. Anyway,
wait. So, what do you think about the moon then?
It's not like the Earth at all, so there's no reason to compare the Earth to the moon. Not even one resemblance between the Earth and the moon. So I wouldn't look at the moon and say, the Earth must be like that.
So do you think the moon is a sphere?
It can be anything. Doesn't matter what it is. The Earth isn't like those things that you see in the sky. I see stars and planets and moons. The Earth isn't like anything up there, so there's really no need to to compare the Earth to what you see in the sky. So you ever heard the kids say, "Yo, I'm built different"? The Earth is built different, bro. It's not like those things at all. Go ahead.
This is a world, right? We're on a place, right? A realm, right? We exist here on this surface. Those things in the sky, there's no evidence whatsoever that they are other places, other realms, other worlds that you can go to and experience being upright, like here.
Very
So
good
do you
point,
think the
T-Dub.
moon
I
is a
appreciate you
hologram?
putting that in there.
Go ahead, 304. What was that?
So do you think a moon is a holograph, essentially?
Bruh.
No.
Who said
Nobody
that?
said that.
I know. I'm just asking because that's like one of the myths what flat earthers believe.
No, it's not.
No, they don't. That's what
But
someone
you
made
guys
up.
said the moon can be anything.
You just need to know the difference between terrestrial and celestial.
Yeah, there's a difference between us saying, well, it could be anything, than you saying, okay, it must be a hologram. That's a bit different.
Yeah. So what he's saying it could be anything when you're trying to like narrow it down to just one thing, that it could be, but it also could be like everything else.
There's definitely no going
what
there
I'm
to
saying is it
verify
doesn't.
what you would claim.
The point is, it doesn't matter what it is because the Earth isn't like it anyway. But I think what people are trying to get at is they say, well, look, I see a spherical moon, so we must be spherical too. That's bad logic, especially when there's not even a single resemblance. So it doesn't matter what the moon is. It could be a sphere for all we care. It doesn't change the nature of the Earth.
Big white thing in the sky, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, this is what people get wrong about flat Earth, right? We make a claim. We make one claim, right? The Earth is flat, right? the surface that we live on is flat, right? Anything we know, been to, traveled to, the horizontal reference plane is a flat, measurable thing. Mm-hmm. That's the only claim we make. We don't make any claims to what's on the outsides. Someone says, "Oh, what shape is it?" People come in and say, "Well, if it's flat, there must be an edge," because they have that in their mind that they're just swapping the Earth, that ball in space, with a flat disk in space. So it must have an edge because it's somewhere. That somewhere is space. Like what? No one's ever proved that space exists anyway. So, if space doesn't exist, it doesn't have to be somewhere. What if Earth is the somewhere? You know what I mean?
Like that Red Hot Chili Pepper song, the moon made in a Hollywood basement,
Right. Yeah. Well, that's yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much for giving me that explanation.
Anytime, man.
All right, bro.
You guys have a wonderful night, all right? Or a good rest of your morning.
You too.
You too.
All right.
I'll come back now. You hear?
All right.
Hey, that's what I'm supposed to say.
Nice, bro. All right, well, that ended a lot better than it started, bro. That could have went a lot of different directions, man. Oh my god.
They were like night and day.
I know. Let me start cooking. I might lock in misogyny headquarters, but this is why manager is better. Pause.
Misogyny.
All right. I'm slightly joking, Chad. Don't get your freaking panties in a bunch. Only slightly joking, though. She was like, dude, when she said we live in science, I about lost my shit. I'm like, wait, what?
You walk your science with science?
She's like, we do live in science. Oh my god, dude.
She said what?
Like, live in science.
She said we live in science.
Yeah, I should go make a clip. I should make a clip of that one. That's probably good.
She should stick to making sandwiches.
Honestly, that's it. You got it.
Well, that's science, all right.
That's also science.
No. Maybe baking. You could say that's science, but not making sandwiches. No way.
Engineering.
That's the E in STEM. That's the E in STEM now. Let's not get that wrong.
No, STEM actually stands for science, science, and science.
Good one.
All right, someone else chimed in there. Novitiate. Going deafin though. We also have Master Artichoke. Come down, buddy.
What'd you say? You're about to choke.
Yeah, I know. Is he choking on an artichoke? Because we can hear you eating.
I'm literally eating a sandwich. Isn't that crazy? I'm literally eating a sandwich. I'll take a picture.
I bet you made it yourself too. No female made it for you.
What the hell is going on in here? I know goddamn well the flat Earth has not become all of a sudden this popular. So what the hell is going on in this channel?
It's popular because of people like you.
What?
Dude, it's hot right now, bro.
What kind of people are people like me? What kind of people are people like me?
Your content, bro.
Consumers.
You know what I think about this channel?
No, I don't.
Channel?
Would you like to know?
Yes.
No.
I think it's a repository for people who don't know what to think.
Okay. I think you are drunk and fell into this room.
I think I've been aware of what you believe for a very long time. And the fact that I'm drunk may happen to be the reason why I'm willing to be in this ridiculous room. But I did
You don't even know anything about it. So why are you making judgments beforehand?
I came here intentionally to give you a chance. And because also there's a million people in here. And I was wondering why.
I'm going to take that chance. Do you have any proof that you live on a globe?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I owe my entire existence to Jesus Christ, the Word of God. Do you or no?
Do you have any evidence that you live on a globe?
Well, I was prefacing this with my reason.
You don't need to, though. You don't need to preface anything. Yeah, we're just talking about.
Am I permitted to ask you if you also believe Jesus Christ created you?
It's irrelevant.
Am I permitted to ask regardless?
Nope.
Yeah, I just told you it's irrelevant, but that's your answer.
Would you answer the question whether it's relevant or not? Just answer it and then say it's irrelevant.
Okay, do you have any evidence that you live on a spinning space ball?
Well, I'll tell you. It's because the book of Proverbs says that the wind blows to the north and comes back around from the south, and it doesn't turn to the east or the west, and that is required to be a globe. Yes, the Bible says it's a globe. That's why I believe
Does
it's
it
a globe.
say word for word?
It says the wind blows to the north and comes back around from the south, and no one knows from where it came. So it's describing the actual direction and how people understand it. And so
what if that
it's
means
describing an understanding of the wind, it would certainly say that the wind must turn to the east before it becomes northern again.
Why wouldn't
But it doesn't. It says it goes from northern to southern, and that can only happen on a sphere. The wind can only turn from northern directly to southern on a sphere, and the Bible says it does.
So what if it just goes from the north and then goes down to the south and comes back up?
That's how it works. It's a sphere. It can only do that on a sphere. If you're not on a sphere, if you're not on a sphere, it has to turn east or west first.
That's your.
It would have to go up to the north, hit the the ice boundary, turn east, go all the way back around to the south, and then become north. But the Bible says it turns from north to south directly.
What if I showed you?
No one knows where from whence it came. That's what the Bible says. No one knows where from whence it came.
Hey, dude, if you keep doing that, man, you're not going to last long. All right.
Well, just stating. What
if I showed you? What if I showed you a weather pattern where the air comes from the north and then does this little loop down the bottom in the south, just below Australia, and then starts heading north again in the same area?
It has to
what if I showed
turn
you
east. It has to turn east or west before it could go north without crossing a pole. If there's no pole, it would have to turn east.
It just does this little loop.
First.
I'll show you this weather pattern. It just does this little loop
from north to south.
Okay, we're gonna shut you up. All right. You're a belligerent fool.
Yo, I have a question about flat Earth.
And we
hope you're better
live.
I hope you're better than the last guy.
Yeah, so basically, I don't understand, dude. Like when I look outside, right? There's a lot of curvature going on. Like, what do I do? How can I not?
Where?
Well, usually, like when my dick's hard, so I'd probably say like there's about 2 to 3 inches of curvature. It's usually
bro,
yeah.
Bro, come on, dude.
I'm just saying that's curvature, no?
No, you're not just saying. You're not gonna just say that. So fix
Well,
something
I
else.
am saying. Okay, let me see.
Then go back. Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Go fuck, dude. This is the best they have to offer, chat.
I think they let the asylum out this time of night.
Bro,
they're on excursion.
Have a couple of days break.
What the hell, bro?
The Globe Asylum.
It's really bad. And also the Victor guy left too. When they leave quickly after a mute, it's like they never really had anything in the first place. Wow. Master Artichoke. Still here? What's up, dude? Oh, that's Happy Smile. Yo, what is that profile picture, bro? Sorry, I'm getting my Quetzalcoatl on right now. I'm eating on the mic.
Oh, yeah, hot sauce was. Oh, I was too, but no, hot sauce was hot.
Bro, Quetzal's always eating on the mic. It's so funny. It's like a thing now.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He's always munching on the mic, bro. It's so funny.
I reckon it's pistachios too.
That's good. It's funny. I love it.
Let's do a scan.
Scan time.
Scan.
Let's go.
Oh, who's Newbie TIT?
Yeah, he chimed in earlier. I forget what he said, but he chimed in earlier during our spat with the BBL lady. He jumped in and said some weird stuff. He's deafened now though.
One spliff a day.
One spliff idea.
Who's that?
That's Sub Dude.
Name.
Sub Dude.
That's why.
What about Knuckles?
I don't know, but I'm interested in that.
No, that is a weird looking profile picture, bro. What is that?
That's where Salsa was born.
Ew. That's funny. That's probably a legit picture from like James Webb or something. I would not be surprised.
No way. That's a piss
There's
take.
no way. T-Dub, you're hilarious, bro. Dude, T-Dub is one of the funniest flat earthers right now. I think T-Dub's the funniest flat earther. I'm just gonna say it. He's hilarious, bro. Courtesy of NASA, says Knuckles. Bro, jump on the mic, dude. Are you a flat earther?
Definitely.
Definitely not. Got no mic.
No, definitely. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's better.
It's way better. All right, guys. It's high noon.
It's high noon.
Yeah, that picture you can get. I can't remember. I looked it up. It's on NASA's website. It was recorded a couple of months ago or something.
Okay, mate.
Hey, fellow Aussie.
There's a few in here.
Where's that Matrix at? He's got the best Aussie accent I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Metatetrix? He's probably playing squash right now. I don't know.
It probably is.
How long you been in the topic, Knuckles?
Well, 5 years or so, I guess.
And how'd you find us here?
It was pretty buried. You start in the usual places, I guess, and then if you got a brain, you can sift out the crap. Get through all the shills and basically get to here, which is buried deep underneath the ground. But once you're here, you don't leave.
Are you on our other server?
Which one's that?
24/7 Flat Earth Discord.
Yeah, that's what I'm on now.
No, you ain't.
The original one, not the politics one.
Oh, no, I'm not on that one.
Oh, okay. Can someone send him a link?
Yeah, send me a link. That'd be good.
Yeah.
There's obviously no Angels of Light.
Angels of Light.
Yeah. He's an Aussie. Hung around FED for a little bit.
Do you know him, T-Dub?
Kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was in a video with David Weiss the other day or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't real good.
Yeah, I wouldn't go on a video with David Weiss. He couldn't even admit that. Do you know or do you not know? What was he with Jesse?
Jesse Peterson.
Oh shit!
Yeah. He was asked. He was asked. Could be a really big ball.
I know.
Big ball, Dave.
Yeah, I know. How stupid, man. So, do you know or do you not know if the Earth is flat? Was it?
Without a doubt.
Do you know for sure, without a doubt, that the Earth is flat?
He said, "Yeah, well, I know it's not what they tell us."
Yeah. How many times did he ask him? Like 50 times?
I think it was like 20.
28 or 29 times.
Amazing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, never go full retard.
Yeah. Never go full retard. If you like that movie, we had someone in before called Simple Jack.
Yeah, I was listening to him. He was pretty simple.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
I generally, though,
Yeah. Welcome, Knuckles.
Very rare. Yeah, thanks. I was just going to say, it's very rare you come across someone who thinks they're on a ball that's not retarded.
Yeah, facts. Oh my god, yeah.
In some way, yeah. Spatially retarded, horizontally retarded.
Yeah, I just can't understand like I was saying before, having a brain and being able to navigate your way to more like-minded people. I just can't understand how a simple fact like I drive a Hilux, right? I got a white Hilux, but they'll tell you it's a unicorn,
Or, they'll tell you it's a Ferrari. Now, it looks like a Hilux. I treat it like a Hilux, but it's actually a Ferrari.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it blows my mind. It blows my mind every time.
Yeah, and they're like, I think it was the other day they were trying to explain, but I need to explain to you why you shouldn't feel the Earth moving. Okay, so you don't feel it moving. You can't measure it moving. You can't do anything. Yeah, but I need to explain to you why that is.
It's like them saying, prove I can't turn into a chicken.
I hate when they do that. I hate when they do that.
Yeah, me too, man. I just say, no, I don't want to hear your excuses.
Yeah. We also have Catboi that's joined as well. Welcome, Catboi. How's it going?
What's up?
Let's
A lot of people here. What brings you here?
I don't know. I think I was just moved here.
You were moved here? Wow, okay. Damn, you joined a crazy panel. Are you? Have you ever talked to a flat earther before?
No.
You've never talked to a flat earther before?
No, because that's not a thing in Russia, bro.
It's not a thing in Russia.
I bet you it is.
All right. Well, we got enemy UAVs coming over your territory right now. So,
hey, Catboy, what'd you do? Like trip over and press a button or something?
No, somebody moved me here.
Okay.
Dude, we need those perms. We need to get crit those perms or something like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can't get them,
I was moved. I don't know why.
Yeah. So. Now that you're here, have you got any evidence that Earth is a ball?
I've got you in my
do I really have to?
Yes. No, you don't have to.
Yes, you do.
Do whatever you want, man.
Because, we're the first country to ever, fucking launch a satellite, bro.
Bruh. Yeah, but what does that mean, though?
I mean, it's a little bit silly.
Launch you.
It's a little bit silly, don't you think?
What's silly?
I don't know, almost 100 years so far space program, bro.
Okay, so how does space program make the Earth a sphere?
No, so we sent out satellites. We have sent pictures of it. We have sent people there. They also
so
took pictures.
How do you confirm that all that information is correct?
Well, we saw the launch happening, and we saw the people.
You saw it
return.
100 years ago.
Not 100 years ago, but it's documented. I mean, anybody can see a rocket launch. You can literally go to the launch pad and watch it yourself.
You don't know where it goes, though.
I'm pretty sure you can track it nowadays.
Pretty sure?
He's pretty sure.
Okay,
pretty sure.
I'm going to watch a rocket go into the sky. I don't know where it goes, but I'm going to look at this TV screen now. And because this TV screen says that it's going to space, then it must be going to space.
Okay, so we spent trillions of dollars on nothing, and it's just fake.
Clearly. It doesn't matter it's not about money, dude. Like people who make the money spend the money. Like it's not even anything to them. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so then tell me how the satellite television work.
I don't need to tell you anything. It's your claim, dude. You're the one that says.
Okay, so we have a magic box that just works.
You're the one. Just because you call it satellite TV, it doesn't mean it's satellites in space, right? You can have communications. Just hang on, dude. Chill out, man. I know you're getting excited. You think I'm, putting your country down because you've had a space program and this and that. I'm just saying. You can have communications in the sky without them being in the vacuum of space and falling around the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. Can't you?
And they're just standing still there. Nothing.
I don't even know what you just said, man.
So you're telling me you have an object in fucking space, and since the Earth is like a cube or whatever the fuck, it's just going to stand still there. How does that even make any sense?
Who said it's a cube, man? Who said that?
I don't fucking know. This cube, anything. I don't really care at this point.
You're just making shit up now. Now you're making shit up.
I'm not making shit up.
You're making shit up because you can't answer my question.
If it's not a fucking sphere, then you tell me what shape it is.
It's not a shape, dude. We're talking about the surface. We're talking about the surface of the Earth being flat and measured flat.
Okay, so what's at the edges? What happens there?
See,
guys, let me cook him, Timbo. Let me cook this one.
Man.
Catboy.
We're out there.
What shape is the universe?
Nobody knows. You can see that.
Great. Where's the edge?
It is calculated that the universe is infinite.
Stop the cat.
It's practically infinite for the human mind to comprehend.
Is there an edge?
You're comparing a small little fucking piece of dust to something that you can't even comprehend all the size of. So,
exactly.
How's that fair?
Correct. Exactly.
And you're doing the same analogy with yourself and the Earth. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but bro.
Let me help you out here, buddy. Let me help you out. Because when you say, so it's like a cube, a disc, or whatever, you're comparing apples to oranges. The globe, I say this all the time. The globe is a thing in a place. Place being the universe. Flat Earth is not a thing in a place. It is the place, right? So it's not a little object like a square, circle, triangle, whatever. It's more like the universe, which you said is incomprehensible or whatever. So yeah, that's what flat Earth is like. It's not like a little object floating around in space. Newsflash: space isn't even real. It's like a fictional setting for books and video games and stuff. The Earth does not belong in outer space. That's for TV and books and fiction. It's not real. You probably have never heard that before. It's probably gonna blow your freaking mind. But
Don't say
space
that.
is fake.
Russia's had a space program for 100 years, apparently.
Look, that's totally fine in my eyes. You can totally have technology in the sky, no problem. Not a single. I have no problem with that. There being tech in the sky. Cool. There's just no outer space for
It's
things.
actually the gold standard. It's the gold standard of communication, NASA said.
What, tech in the sky?
Yeah. Shadowloons. I can show you, I can send him a documentary, but I know he's not going to watch it.
Ooh. Catboi, is the cat got your tongue?
So by your logic, the sun is fake.
Oh my god! Where did you get that from, dude? No. It's just that you have look. You have everyone sees the sun, everyone sees the moon, the stars, right? Okay. But the problem is you have stories attached to what they are. You know, you can like write an email and attach a file. You basically have attached a bunch of stories or lore to what the sun is. Now I see the sun just like you do. I just don't go with the story that's attached. The story that's attached is it's 93 million miles away. It's a giant burning ball of gas. It's cap. We can easily debunk that, no problem. But I still see the sun. I don't think you know what the sun is in reality. No one knows what the sun is. I don't know what it is. No one's ever going to know what it is, as far as I'm concerned. Why? I wouldn't even worry about it.
Go there.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it's a location you can go to. I don't think it's somewhere you can go. I don't think it's a location you can go to.
Okay, then where does this energy come from? It can't come out of thin air. You can't create nothing.
I'm not saying it comes out of thin air. I'm not saying it comes out of thin air.
What is it?
But no one's saying the sun's fake. It's just that the story that you provided about the sun is cap. Easily, we can show you.
Okay, then let's see what it is. Let's go there and see what it is now.
Well, I don't think you're gonna know what it is. I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. You know that saying, "Come back down to earth." Yeah, that's what we need to do. Because you've never heard that before.
No. What is it?
Yeah, the answers aren't up there.
So you're telling me there is a mysterious thing that shines half the fucking day and provides unlimited energy, and you don't want to know what it is.
Yep, 100%.
Why? The fuck?
How? I don't know how you would even get closer to knowing what it is. I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest.
It's not that we're not curious, right?
Okay, so if it's not 90 million kilometers, then it's purely closer, right? So you can go there.
No, I never said that. I wouldn't worry about it. Why don't you just come back down to earth, dude? The answers are down here. Right. There's mystery up there, a lot of questions up there. I don't think the answers are up there in the sky. The answers are down here on the ground.
That doesn't really make sense.
There's a lot more.
I don't know how you go. You go there. How are you going to go somewhere? Like what? How high do you think civilians can go?
Ooh. Look, bro, honestly, you probably just hit him with the container argument. We're inside of a container anyway, so you're not going anywhere.
He's not going to understand that.
I mean, we could go into the lore for sure, but just rip the bandit off. You're inside of a container, bro. You're not going anywhere. There's no outer space to go to. You're inside of a container. That's going to sound crazy, but it is what it is. Just like, should we just hit it? Should we hit it real fast? Honestly, we'll just do it quickly.
Just do it, man.
We might as well just rip the bandit off. Just like you need a tire for, the air inside of your bike or your car.
Wait, this is how we know space is fake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Correct. Yeah, no, that's a good point to add there. But just like you need the tire to hold the air in your car, whatever, that same principle applies to the Earth as well. You can't have like air without a container. You can't have gas pressure without a container. There's a bunch of examples, right? If you have like a bottle of sparkling water, right, bubbly water, there's a bunch of gas in there, okay? And then you have the container that contains that gas. As soon as you open it, let's say you just like leave it out for a while, you're going to lose the gas. That's the container that holds the gas in. So that's two examples right there. A balloon, for example, right? You have the balloon that holds in the helium or whatever, right? So you need a container to have the gas. So that applies to the Earth as well. There's a container containing the gas here. So you ain't leaving the container. So you're not going anywhere. Even if the sun was in or out or whatever, doesn't matter. You're not leaving this place. You're stuck here. Sorry.
Okay, let's break the container then. Break the
container, chat. Let's just break the container, chat. And go where? Go where?
I don't care. I want to see what happens. Okay, break it.
Break the flat Earth is encased in a dome?
I don't care what it is. If there's something limiting me, I'll break it.
I don't know how you would do that, but...
Okay, where's the container? Where is it?
Up in the sky.
Okay, let's go there and break it.
Okay, let's go.
I'll make sure that you broken.
Okay.
I'll meet you there, man.
All right, good. If there's like a fucking physical barrier, right? You need to break. Let's break it.
Okay, so it can be broken.
Why not?
So, can you? If you don't think there's a container, then can you show me gas pressure without any containers?
Ooh.
You're saying that like you are inside of a container. Okay, I'm like, okay, let's go to the edge of the container.
I'm asking you. I just asked you. I said, if you don't think there's a container, can you show me gas pressure being produced without a container?
Gas pressure where?
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Every single like celestial body has its own atmosphere almost.
Oh well, you can't use that. You can't use that. And that's the thing in question. That's the claim. They're claiming that you can have gas pressure without a container, and that claim involves
Well, the container,
and all this
the
stuff. So you
container
can't use
is
those
the
things.
atmosphere, though. The container is the
No.
atmosphere, no?
That would,
It is.
that would
that's
be
the air.
that would be gas containing gas. So can you show that?
Isn't gas attracted by gravity?
Okay, that would be
No.
gravity making the container. So that would be gravity acting upon gas. Can you show that?
Well, gas is definitely influenced by fucking gravity. What the fuck?
Show us.
Okay, can you show that?
What do you mean show us? Not every gas. Some gases go up, some go down. Like what the fuck? It depends on
not
how
gravity.
heavy they are.
Then.
The fuck?
So
No,
not gravity.
it is gravity because some go up because they're lighter than the necessary weight to get pulled, and some are heavy, so they go down.
Okay, can you show that and demonstrate it?
The fuck do you mean show? How do you think I'm a chemical fucking laboratory? I can show it to you. The fuck?
You are a chemical laboratory. Why would I think you are a chemical laboratory?
You're making the claim, so if you're going to make the claim, you got to back it up, bro.
Brother, that's retarded. That's like saying, okay, build me a nuke in your basement.
As a default, isn't retarded. Are you sure about that?
I don't
Well, he
fucking
said
have
gravity
heavy
contains
or light gases in my fucking bedroom to demonstrate which gases go up and fucking down.
Okay,
Like, I'm not going to do
did
that.
have those.
Can you show us someone who demonstrated it?
Go to YouTube, look how gases work. Like, what the fuck?
You do that.
You do it, man.
We
Why
already
the,
do
fuck
that.
why the fuck would I do that? I'm not a chemist. I don't care about that.
Because you're
We
saying
know
a bunch of shit that's
the
not
gas
true.
behavior. You don't seem to know, so you should back up your silly claim.
Okay, so my silly claim is elementary school. Okay, I see. Basic elementary school shit.
Now, elementary school contains gas.
Brother, I don't know. This is just too mentally for me.
No, let's just rip the bandit off, Catboi.
You're the one
Every
that's
single time
making
there's
it
gas pressure, you need a container. Period. That's it. You just need a container for gas pressure, not gravity, not gas itself. You have to have a container every single time. Period. It's over.
Gas has this tendency to fill space, right? And if there's a space to fill, it will fill it. And don't say, oh my, CB.
Oh my.
You wanted him to say, oh my.
Nothing will stop it. Nothing can stop gas from continuing to expand into available space. The only thing that restricts the space that it can expand into is a volume defined by a container. Walls stop gas from expanding any further, right? If you have a claim that gas, something else can restrict the area within which an amount of gas can be contained, then go ahead and demonstrate it. If not, then you just have a baseless claim and a baseless belief.
Yeah, or you could just say, oh, I don't know. You could do that. Instead of saying making a claim, not backing up your claim, backing up your claim is retarded. That's weird too. Just say, I don't know. It's easy, man. When I don't know something, I just say, I don't know. Let's look at it. Is he still here or not?
Yeah, he's here. We're putting Putin memes in the chat.
Got something to say, Catboi?
That's Putin. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that's the Putin walking meme. That's the sound from the meme.
Moscow.
Too funny. Also, Jord is in the chat saying sulfur hexafluoride disagrees. So what you're saying is, yeah, that's definitely false.
Yeah. So it will sit in the bottom of an open container for a little bit, but then it'll disperse into the atmosphere like everything else does. So that would be gravity not holding it down, because going out of the fish tank would be going up.
But think about it though, Jordan.
Primarily man-made anyways. It only happens
man-made.
naturally in extreme conditions.
But think about what you're thinking of, Jordy, right? You got one container with your sulfur hexafluoride. Then you're going to pour that into another container. You're going to use those two containers to say, look, you don't need a container.
It's people arguing from exceptions. Like, it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous approach to a topic, to argue from the exceptions.
Well, and now he's saying when dispersed, sure, also man-made or not, it's affected by gravity. Well, obviously not, because it disperses into the atmosphere.
Right, because I wonder if you had like a container of sulfur hexafluoride, right, placed it inside another bigger chamber, right, but it's sealed from the other container. Then you put a lid on that, the bigger container, suck all the air out of that, so you've got a vacuum surrounding your box of sulfur hexafluoride, and then exposed the sulfur hexafluoride container to the vacuum surrounding it. Would the sulfur hexafluoride just sit there inside its original container?
No. It would equalize into the lower pressure in all directions.
Right.
No gravity.
Oh.
Anyway, there's people that just call gravity down anyway. They're just, what the...
Keep using 2015 arguments.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I drop a pen. You go, yeah, and what?